long story short, it didn't work out, and I had to use my hypnobirthing for the entire labor. And I was so glad I did it because I had then the tool for the entire labor, right? And I must say it did really help me.
Good day, everyone. I have with me today Jasmine and Shane, two of my newest parents who would have benefited from our Easy Breezy Childbirth program. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Jasmine,
Nice
Shane. And we have little Anis here. Hi, Anis.
Say hello.
Yeah, she's coming up now. Let me see.
Smile for the camera.
Oh,
Hello, Anis.
Nice.
Hello. All right, so this is, Anis is now 7 months.
Yeah, well, 7 months now.
And so tell us a little bit about how the process went for you, Jasmine.
Okay. You mean hypnobirthing?
Yes.
Process. Okay, so as I guess most people know, I would have done the course with you, and I would have learned the principles in terms of going to the happy place, breathing throughout, and being able to cope with discomfort. So as you know, my goal was really to be able to cope with any discomfort that I had. I know you had said that some people could achieve total pain relief, but my goal was really to be able to manage. As I would have mentioned to you, I have a very low pain threshold. I know a lot of times people say I have a really high pain threshold, I have a really high tolerance. That's not me. I'm not a person that experiences pain often. I know people who usually have a high pain tolerance are people who experience pain on a regular basis, for example with their period, etc., and that's not me. So my concern was really being able to cope with the pain during labor. Also for me, my birth plan was, usually sometimes you labor at home and then you go to the hospital. I was planning to use my hypnobirthing while I was laboring at home, and then I would have pain medication and my epidural when I went to the hospital. That was my plan. Long story short, it didn't work out, and I had to use my hypnobirthing for the entire labor. And I was so glad I did it because I had then the tool for the entire labor, right? And I must say it did really help me to cope with the pain. I always felt like, coping with pain is not just a physical thing, it's very mental. And it was all about building that mental capacity to be able to manage the pain and stay calm throughout the pain. I always say I have to thank Shane because Shane was able to remind me of the different principles and so on throughout the process. And I would say practicing what you taught me beforehand, it was very, very crucial. So yeah, I always thank you and recommend the hypnobirthing for sure.
Nice, thank you very much. So as her support partner, as her birthing partner, Shane, how was the process for you? What did you experience? How were you able to help her?
I think it's always difficult to see somebody that you love and you care for so much in pain. So it is a very difficult thing for you as well, I think, as a support partner. To help the person, but I just thought, this is just my role here. I just need to remind Jasmine of these things, breathe, take the cues from the medical professionals who were in the room, and kind of just listen to what they were saying and help communicate that to Jasmine. Remind her of some of the tools of the hypnobirthing, going to the happy place, breathing, and so on, as we were going through it. And I think it really became intense closer to the end. Really, that was more important than sometimes at the beginning, because I think she had a really good handle on it at the beginning. But as you got closer to the end, I think there's a lot going on.
Okay. What did you do? Any particular activities you did to help comfort her, or anything you specifically said to her to help remind her of her process?
So she'd shared with me before from the sessions with you where her happy place was, so I was able to, of course, remind her of where that was, things related to the happy place. And I think throughout the entire thing, I think breathing with her, actually just going through breathing with her, holding her, and just reminding her to breathe. I think those were things throughout, and given that I knew the happy place and so on, I could have communicated stuff like that.
Okay, wonderful. Now, of course, we encourage our mums to be to have someone present with them if possible, who most likely or hopefully would be there on their day of giving birth. So Shane was there with his wife, with Jasmine, on the day. So we always encourage you to bring someone with the session if you can, if they're available, of course. If they're not available, it would be useful for them to at least attend a session, maybe two. But he was there. So do you want to go into any particular details of any points of the process of the labor, the late stages of labor that you would kind of like to, that you would like to highlight?
Right. What I would say, just going back to what you said, is that having a partner is so important because there's so much going on for you. Like, you're in it, you're feeling everything, and having your partner is almost like, especially when you practice with your partner as well, I would say, because when you practice and the person is like reminding you or actually there with you and reminding you to breathe, and so during the practice, hearing that person's voice, because I mean, you're not there, right? You do the practice with you, but you're not there on the day. But if your partner is actually going through with you, remember to breathe and stuff like that, when you hear their voice on the day, it kind of brings you back to the happy place as well. So I think practicing with Shane at home, and then on the day, it was good to kind of get you there, and it reminded you of when you're relaxing at home.
Right.
For the process for me, you know, at first, the first stage of labor, which is when your cervix is dilating, for me was my thing of this is where I need to be able to A, cope with the pain, and B, relax, because you know, the more relaxed you are, the faster your cervix will dilate. The less likely you are to need like interventions and stuff like that. So for me, I really wanted to be calm at that point. I didn't really have a fear of the pushing part because I feel like you're using these waves, contraction surges then to actually do something. But during that stage where you're trying to dilate, for me, it was good at first, but then it gets really, really, really intense. And it was really important for me because as much as you are in, for me, I was in my happy place, and so it, because of the intensity of the waves, having Shane, and I keep saying Shane, but that's the truth, having Shane to remind me, like, remember, go to your happy place, remember to breathe, remember to, all he was saying is just remember to breathe, and it helps to keep you there in the happy place. It helps to keep you focused on what you're doing, because you know, it's very easy sometimes to get caught up in what's happening physically, but if you could stay more in that almost meditative state, it helps a lot more. You know, that you would do in the hypnobirthing. I also remember, I don't know if you remember, I was kind of like dropping to sleep between the contractions or the surges, and I feel like, looking back, I feel that I thought at the time it was fatigue, but I think it was actually because I was breathing and I was just relaxed. And I remember that my labor started at, my water broke at after 1 p.m. After 1 p.m. And then my labor really kicked in and got intense at 7 p.m. And then Anis was here by 12:28 a.m. So that was just, for me, considering that was my first baby, usually sometimes labor could be like over 24 hours. So for me, that happened so quickly. I credit it to the fact that I was able to breathe and do the hypnobirthing, and that everything allowed me to, you know, dilate faster.
Right. Now, of course, many of my colleagues overseas, they do say that using meditative states, using hypnobirthing, using the hypnobirthing process, easy breezy childbirth, actually reduces the length of labor, and it also reduces the complications after you've given birth. It helps to speed up the healing process. I'm also trained by a Spanish doctor, a Spanish surgeon, who does surgeries without anesthetic. So he's able to prepare his patients to be able to have their eyes open. They're not asleep, they have their eyes open and they're interacting. Sometimes they're on their phone during the surgeries. And he said that he's had 0% complications after. So the healing process has been really good after surgery. So this is encouragement to all of you to invest in yourself, to invest in your potential, to tap into your potential, to be able to use your mind and prepare and condition your body to be able to reduce or even turn down or turn off discomfort when you're going through your special time of giving birth. Now, you are a pelvic health physiotherapist, and you specialize in pelvic health. So how would you have used any of the techniques that you teach your clients, your patients, during the birthing process?
So interestingly, a lot of what I teach my clients would be a lot of breathing, like diaphragmatic breathing, because if you can take full breaths in and really use your diaphragm, as your diaphragm expands when you inhale, it helps your pelvic floor to relax, which we want. So your uterus pushes the baby out, your pelvic floor basically has to relax and get out of the way for the baby to come out. So for me, I knew that the hypnobirthing would go hand in hand with that, because as you're relaxing and breathing, if you could do those diaphragmatic breaths, it would help your pelvic floor, to relax. It would help, to leads, it'd be more conducive for more gentle birth,
right?
And for, like, for example, less perineal tearing, so less tearing when baby comes out, etc. Interestingly, one of the techniques that you can use to prep for birth, for example, when baby is crowning, coming out through the entrance of the vagina, is perineal massage. And perineal massage can actually be a bit uncomfortable because you're stretching the entrance of the vagina. But when I would actually practice that with the hypnobirthing practice.
So when you're practicing your perineal massage with your partner, you'll be doing the...
Yeah, because what we realized is when I did it with it was very sore. And then we're like, well, let's maybe do the hypnobirthing. And when you get to your happy place and you feel all, zen, then we would do it. And it was way different. You remember? It was so much better when we did it that way, because Shane would do the stretching for me.
Okay.
And so that was really good practice. So, you do the pinching in the sessions with clients.
Yes.
So this is a good way for us to practice it practically.
So Shane, what advice or tips would you give to birthing partners or support persons?
So I would definitely say it's important to know what your partner wants. It's really important that you go through their birthing plan with them so that you have a clear sense of what it is that they want, what they don't want, because a lot could be happening at the point in time. There are a lot of people sometimes in the room, sometimes you're being told a lot of different things, both you and your partner. And once you know what they want, you'll be better able to tell the medical professionals if they cannot, and you might be better able to support them at a point in time. I think what's also important though is to listen to those medical professionals, the persons in the room. Remember that they are the ones who do this every day. They see this every single day. This is their bread and butter. So they will give you advice and tips sometimes. Sometimes it sounds crazy, some of the things they might say, well, do you want to switch positions now? Do you want to get on your side, or do you want to go on your back, or do you want to come up? And you're like, the baby's soon gonna be here, what do you mean change positions? And so, listen to them, because sometimes they have really good suggestions and tips, and they're doing everything really to help you and help support you. So I think those are the two top things, really know what your partner wants, listen to what the medical professionals are saying, and see how you can use what they're saying to help the process.
Okay, wonderful. So I want to once again thank you guys. Thank you, Jasmine and Shane, for volunteering to be a part of our Easy Breezy Childbirth program. How are you doing? Oh, she's crying. So we're going to wrap it here. Thank you all for joining, and see you again on our next episode of Easy Breezy Childbirth with Insight Consulting. Bye.